It was on this day, this date in history, December the 6th, 1273, the feast of St. Nicholas, when St. Thomas Aquinas had some sort of mystical vision that he was never be able to describe to anyone, but it left him in silence. If you regularly watch this midweek devotion, you probably have heard of me speak of St. Thomas before. Thomas Aquinas, a year ago during the Christmas season, I chose 10 authors that every Christian should know, and he was on that list. I mean, his writing is probably a little deep for a lot of us to comprehend, but writings about him. Now, Thomas was just a school student under a philosophy teacher who recognized that he had a great talent, that he was highly intelligent and had a depth of philosophical understanding. But he was a tall person, pretty heavy set person, a very quiet person, sat in the background, did not speak much. And so one day this professor of his said that this dumb ox, his bellowing will someday be heard throughout the world. Now, he was saying it in kind of an affectionate way, but it stuck on, and his nickname going up for a long time was the Dumb Ox. But he was anything but dumb. Although he only lived to be 49, in those short 49 years, he challenged the world with his insights. The 13th century was a time where science and awareness and philosophy were growing. A lot of the Greek philosophers had kind of been forgotten, and Thomas Aquinas brought together the ancient Greek writers, especially Aristotle, with Christianity and kind of put them together and showed how they're not that incompatible. He also brought the idea of faith and reason together and said you can be a person of faith and still be a reasonable person, and you can be a reasonable person, quite intelligent, and not have faith. He brought the worlds of science and philosophy and religion together, where a lot of people began to think that if a person is a scientist or studies the natural sciences, that they automatically can't believe in God, or they automatically are believing a lie and have their own type of religion or superstition. Others think that if a person is a person of faith, they certainly can't be a person of science. But Aquinas said those things are not true. You can be a person of faith and a person of reason, a person that follows religion and a person that follows science at the same time. They're not incompatible from each other. And furthermore, there are many windows or many doors toward truth, and these different doors teach us different amounts of things. So there might be one way to know about the natural world and another way to know about the supernatural world. He gave us a system of ethics, or revived a system of ethics that's actually gaining quite a bit of steam even today with modern science or modern philosophers. He gave us 5 proofs for the existence of God that probably all of you have heard about at one time or the other. One of his greatest works was the Summa Theologica. He wrote many books, but that was a systematic reinstatement of the Christian faith. In his short 49 years, he set the world on fire. And even today, many, many churches, in ways that people don't understand or don't recognize, are still wrestling with his ideas. They're still influencing churches today, even though that was clear back in the 13th century. So what happened? Well, where we started at, we'll get back to where we started today. It was on the Feast of St. Nicholas, December the 6th, which is this day today. I don't know if I'll get this posted by today, but this is the day I'm taping this. In 1273, that during taking communion, he took much longer than usual, and it seemed that something was going on. And when he came out, he didn't talk much to anybody. And his only response was, "After what I have seen, everything I've written is mere straw. I'll never write again." And he didn't. Within the next year, he had an accident. He was on his donkey, I believe, and hit a fallen tree. A fallen tree limb hit him. It got, I think what today, I don't know what they called it in that day. I think today we would call it brain bleed. But he came sick, got sick, and never really recovered from it. And within that next year, he passed away. So I think this theologian that changed the world theologically, and this theologian that so many people now, centuries after he has passed away, and after he's writing, is still influencing people, and yet he himself said everything he has written is like mere straw after what he saw. And you know what I want? I wish I knew what he saw. I wish I knew more about that vision. People speculate and people guess, but nobody really knows. But it is a fascinating occurrence, and the vision happened on this date in history. Between now and Sunday, I just want to say, don't be fooled into thinking it's either or, either my mind or my heart. All mind, all rational, all reason, and no heart, no feeling, no emotion makes religion flat and stale, and we lose the warmth. But all emotion, or no head, it often leads us into error, and our theology gets sloppy. Let's bring together our hearts and our minds and worship our Lord. May God bless you. May God give you balance during this Christmas season.